We are working on it, Doctor.
Oh, okay. You are working on it. Okay, that's
Yeah.
good. That's good. Okay, Yuza, eh? Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Macam mana? How was it? What is the progress?
I just finished online 2 and online 3, but working on the karangan.
All
Working
right.
on the
Okay.
karangan. Still do the reading and searching for the the content, and yeah, that's all.
Okay. That's good. That's good. At least you have progress somewhere there,
Yeah.
and you are beginning to getting used to it. For the writing,
Inshallah.
for the essay. All right. Okay. Dr. Basha with us this afternoon. Thank you. How are you, Dr. Basha?
I'm fine, Dr. Ahmad.
Okay.
Just
Glad
rushing
to
back from
have
the
you
farm.
here. Oh. Okay.
But so far, in progress lah about the assignment. Hopefully we from the deadline of 10 of October we can complete by then, inshallah.
All right. Okay. What about the essay? Okay. Is it okay?
Okay, should be okay for me.
Should be okay, right? Okay.
I think this also should be okay for
Okay, right. That's good. Okay. What
Okay, back
about
to
others?
you.
Let me ask Cikgu Hafifah, Ustazah Hashazlia, Ustazalia, Miss Farah, how are you? Macam mana?
Hello, I'm doing great, thank you.
You're doing great with your assignments, all right? That's good. Okay.
Well, hopefully, I am still working on on the first and second one.
Okay.
First and third project and essay.
Okay.
Yeah,
So that
a bit busy. Sorry.
all right. So that's almost you are reaching number 3 already. All right. Okay. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay. What about this? Cikgu Afifah?
Ya, doktor, saya sama dengan Farah. Saya lagi buat assignment 1 dengan 3. No, assignment 2 dah submit. 2 dah siap.
Oh, okay. Congrats. Okay. Saya pun tak tengok lagi, to be frank. Mana tu LMS ke apa tu?
LMS.
LMS.
Macam biasa. Macam biasa LMS. Okay.
Okay. Can we have Ustazah, Lia, and others as well? This is my first time actually seeing you, cikgu-cikgu semua. Maybe ada yang some of you that I do not recognize your name. Before this, we just had like a very straightforward briefing session. But I think this time, I'm more towards knowing you guys. Okay. Okay. What about this?
Kalau saya assignment 2 tu lagi sikit, Doktor. Assignment 1 dalam proses, sama jugalah dengan assignment 3 pun dalam proses lagi, insyaAllah.
Alright, okay. Right. Thank you, Ustazah Lia. What about this? We have here Nurul Fakihin, Hana, mind me if I call you Cikgu, okay? I assume most of you are Cikgu, so I use Cikgu in the front. Okay, Cikgu Hana ataupun Puan.
Doctor, done with the second one, but the first and the third still on the way. I plan to send. I cannot log into my LMS. I don't know why. So I plan to send to your email in one email. The 3 assignments in one email.
Sure.
Yeah.
You are more than welcome
But still doing it. Still in the progress.
Still in progress. Okay. Essay is done. Now
Not yet.
Huh?
The first and the third not yet. The second one done.
Oh, the second one. Okay, there's an assessment, right? Okay. Okay, that's good. Okay. Is there anything that I can help you?
Maybe I'll come back to you later if
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go to others. We have here Oi King, Cikgu Oi, Cikgu Sam Nyuk Ning, Sam Yi Wei. Betul ke saya sebut? I'm sorry if I mispronounce it. we have Cikgu Tela. All right. Okay. Yes. Would you like to ask me something on regarding the assignments or any things that you want me to clarify on? You are most welcome to do so.
Selamat petang Dr. Ahmad.
Selamat petang.
Boleh saya tanya?
Yes, sure.
Tentang assignment kedua, saya sudah buat satu assessment dalam kuizi. Saya hanya terangkan subject learning outcome, level involving dan cara untuk mengendalikan sahaja. Tak payah macam laporan ilmiah.
Yes, no need for laporan ilmiah. I just need on the particulars that I mentioned in the pro forma. As long as you have given me all those particulars, that will be fine. Fine with me.
Okay. Another question is about the soalan ketiga. Kalau saya buat gamified, saya pilih common space, di dalam saya letak ada pembelajaran secara video. Mereka boleh tonton video kalau mereka tak tahu. Saya boleh letak nota sana, mereka boleh pun juga baca nota dan ikut step lah. Selepas itu mereka buat latihan kendiri dulu, baru kepada mungkin assessment sumatif bagi mereka, dan cara ini boleh tak? Dan saya lepas tu saya akan tulis all the details bagaimana untuk conduct is okay.
Oh, you are asking whether is it okay to use Kumon module?
Saya.
Betul ke? Atau macam mana?
Common space, satu tempat yang boleh berinteraksi, murid boleh berkomunikasi di dalam kolaboratif. Yes.
Oh, interesting. I never heard of that. I know.
Like Gather Town, like Gather Town is a game based.
جيب واحدة بس يمكن عم بكر.
Farah, you have to mute your mic. Sorry.
Sorry.
Okay, it's okay. Come again, Cikgu Lee.
Dia macam satu bilik, di dalam dia boleh buat perbincangan dalam kumpulan, dia boleh teroka sendiri, dia boleh ikut step Jeku untuk plan itu. Contohnya dia pergi station 1, tengok video dulu, dan station kedua dia pergi, tapi dalam satu bilik sahajalah. Like that.
So it is web-based. It is an application or it is web-based?
Application. Kumon space. Later I type for.
Okay, Kumon space. Alright. Okay, we have here someone type. Kumon space. Okay. As long as it has the so I think you chose gamification, right? So you have your you have your platform, which is the Kumo space, and then you have some kind of interactive elements, and you incorporate it with your learning goals and outcomes. That is okay. But for number 3, assignment number 3 has to be accompanied with a written document. Okay. What do I mean by written? Means you have to send me a document lah. I mean Microsoft Word or anything. Just to cover those details. Okay, that will be fine. Yes, boleh.
Thank you very much.
All right. Next, anything else? Anyone else would like to ask me anything?
Dr. Ahmad?
Yeah, Dr.
For the assignment 3, right? We need to support it with the
document.
With the citation, right? I'm supposed to do that? Or just a written assignment, just written to explain about the, let's say I'm choosing the
citation. You want to cite any reference that you refer to, and you would like to argue your, or you like to include your points, and you would like to argue, put your arguments, and you want to cite someone. Yes, please do. Yeah, you can do it. Include your in the citation. But if you don't have, you think that it's from your own, and you want to justify it based on your argument, or your thesis statement, that is fine with me as well. But
Okay.
number one, for essay, it is a must. It's a
Yeah.
must for you have to have citation.
So let me clarify again for the assignment 2. That means we actually I've done already with the write up together. So it seems that you said no need. So that means I just delete it and just follow the question unit, because I first I thought that we need to write following the APA style for the assignment 2.
Okay, APA. All right.
Ah.
It's just that on the AC you have to really follow on the APA.
Okay. That means assignment 2 direct to the point only lah. No need to put the literature review, APA introductions.
If you already put it, I think just let it
be. Okay, right? Okay. Right. Because I'm quite used to whenever we want to write some assignment, we have to do some introduction, some literature review. Then when we get direct to the point, right? Then dia tak tergantung, something like that lah. But since then I think it will be relief for others lah, because the stress part is when we start writing. Nak karangan tu memang agak sukar bagi mereka, especially yang baru masuk kali pertama, the tamat. Because this is the 5th class, because nobody let's say macam Puan Yuza, she never do this what you call apa style, apa nama ni apa style ni, something like that, right? So it's quite
Puan Yuza kena petik nama dia. Okay.
Dr. Bashar memang dia suka petik.
Okay.
No, this is fairly true, because I really talk to you. If I'm the 1st class by itself, because we have done it long time ago when we are in undergraduate, because it's quite tough, you know, especially when I saw this word.
I do agree.
The word, what would you put the word? In second assignment, there's a word, the taxonomy or something like that. You put something like that. I forgot about that words. Right. These kind of things that need to be said, because we have covered in class number 4. But it's okay. But I feel relieved with Dr. Ahmad, because he tried to make the things very easy for all of you, much more comfortable. You see, don't be so stressful. Saya tengok Cikgu Hana pun klik dia tu pun. I know how she feel it, because it's the first time you're doing that. Because it's not easy, you know. For us, we have gone through.
Understand.
For Cikgu Yuza, because
Okay, I understand, Dr. Bashar, your point, and I agree. I do agree with you. There should be a learning curve there. Okay, and you have to go through the process. If you have forgotten it, or you have not visited the academia for a very long time and don't do the exercise, I think it's time for you to freshen up everything and takes this moment of time, in the opportunity to gain back the skill that you had already before. So in order to do that, yes, I know that there is some challenges and a lot of difficulties that you came across. Okay, I consulted 2 students before in past 2 days and talk about the citation and referencing and how to do the APA and so on. And I think it's a good learning curve. And since you are in postgraduate level, I think this skill is a must. And you are approaching when you are approaching your project paper, it will be easier. Okay, but worry not. We have here in Geomatica University, they already established a CPOS, Center for Postgraduate Students, and previously we had CPOS organizing some of the workshop related to your thesis writing and project paper dissertation. Okay, so maybe after this, maybe there are some announcement. I will let you know. Okay, or maybe Madam Shikin or maybe Dr. Rahimi will let you guys know. So if you think that you need that skill and you want to brush up, maybe you can join later on. Okay, so but for my class, yes, you are free to consult me with me whenever you feel comfortable and at your own time. Okay, so nevertheless, we have to go through the process. And in my previous classes, psychology of learning, education assessment, supervision, we had the training, we had the assignments on article review, and some of the students complained to me or give the feedback that it's really hard for the students to complete the assignment. But I know. Yes, it's kind of hard, but you have to go through the process. Okay, does all the assignment need to have citation? Not all. Okay, only on the essay, the first assignment. Okay, and it should be on APA. All right. Okay, so I guess it's a good discussion and it's a good feedback that I received. Anyone else would like to ask? Just stop me and ask about this, and I think we can start our discussion. Yes, Cikgu Puan Yuza.
Doctor, let's say if we cannot submit by 10th, let's say, just in case, okay, anything will happen.
Yes.
Okay, let's say, what if we cannot submit on the 10th? So can you give another date or must submit at the 10th of October?
Okay, try your best. Try your very best to submit on 10. Okay, 10 of October. Because why? Because it's going to be easier for your part to move on to the next course. Okay, but if you cannot, worry not, because this semester is your study plan is going to be based on semester basis. So for example, we are right now currently in August until November. So you are allowed to complete whatever you have missing or you haven't submit until the end of semester. But try your best to submit on the date that have been given by the lecturer of the course.
Okay, Doctor, thank you.
All right. Yes, Mr. Lee. You raise your hand or you just
Doktor, nak tanya, kalau gamified soalan ketiga, konten saya, kerana saya ajar dalam sekolah Cina, konten saya bahasa Cina, tapi saya yang ketiga tak perlu doktor tak payah lihat konten dalam, kan, saya hanya crops, semua benda saya akan terangkan dalam bahasa Melayu, boleh tak?
Boleh. Meaning you will provide the translation ke?
Yeah, doctor, you can go into have a look how is it, but the contents I'm teaching in Chinese Mac, so I will using the bahasa Cina lah, kerana all my student is Chinese student.
No problem, as long as you provide me the translation. So otherwise I cannot understand it. Boleh ke?
Okay. Boleh. Bukan, kalau macam kalau saya pun boleh buat satu lagi dalam semua, saya cari bahan yang semua dalam bahasa Melayu. Encik nak saya macam tu.
Better in Malay lah, because our assignment only accept either in English or Malay.
Oh, okay. Saya faham. Okay, thank you.
To do in Malay or English. Okay.
Right. Doctor, I'm sorry. Mungkin maksud Cikgu Lee tu dia punya teaching dia, macam materials of teaching dia dalam Kumo Space is in bahasa Cina. Tapi dia nak buat essay tu dalam bahasa Melayu. Like myself, I'm teaching year 3, year 4. So all my teaching materials in bahasa Inggeris. But my assignment, my essay will be in bahasa Melayu. Is that possible?
As long as it is bahasa Melayu ataupun in English, boleh. So you have,
but it's okay lah kalau macam materials dalam tu bahasa Inggeris, macam saya punya assignment 2. Assignment 2 untuk assessment dalam bahasa Inggeris, tapi attachment untuk essay tu dalam bahasa Melayu. Is it possible?
Possible. As long as it within the two languages. Okay?
Alright, thank you.
Okay. Okay, last question. Siapa ni? Mr. Kamil. Cik Kamil, for the second assignment, I cannot elaborate enough. Okay. 10 pages is only for the first assignment, the AC. Okay. Not number 2. Okay, so you can refer back to the proforma. Okay. Boleh ke jawab ke?
Ya. Thank you, Doktor. Maybe kalau gitu dalam 3-4 page cukup lah, Doktor. Kalau antara
Yes,
3-4
as long as
page.
boleh menjawab semua yang saya.
As long as it answers all the question lah.
Ya, betul.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, and it should be on assessment, right? Number 2. Okay, online assessment. Yeah. Assessment based online. Okay. Okay. Now, without further ado, let's go to our lecture and discussion. Okay. I prefer it to use discussion rather than lecture. Okay, because you are in the postgraduate level, I'm expecting more on the discussion part than I just one way of teaching. Okay, so our topic today is very interesting. Okay, this afternoon, I myself learn a lot on this when I go deeper into the 21st century teaching. Okay, we already know the concept of 21st century collaborative communication, blah blah blah. But what are the core principles behind it? Okay, so that's why I gave you in the Telegram one article which is written by Dr. Bill Cope and Dr. Mary Kalantzis. Okay, these two scholar is based in Australia. Okay, in 2009 they coined the term of learning principles in 21st century. Okay, the transformative learning principles. Okay, they coined 7 principles, but I think in today's class I'm going to discuss only 5. The rest I think you can go to have a look and at your own pace. Okay, so 21st century learning, it is not something new. Everyone knows about it, but why do we have to know this in technology tools 21st century teaching? Okay, the discourse, okay, EDT. Okay, why? Because I think for us as an educator or teacher, cikgu, pensyarah, and anyone who would like to converse or to use the medium in 21st century kind of platforms or mediator, okay, we would like to master it at the back of our hand, and we have to know why. Okay, why do we do it? Why do we employ the pedagogy that is more on towards digital, for example, or using the social media? Why the reason that you want to use the social media instead of just using it as a tool and as a staple to your previous teaching style? Okay, so let's go to the slides. Okay, and I welcome you to share your views and your opinions on the article that I just gave you in the Telegram. Okay, maybe you have your own ideas or your own based on your experience. Of course, most of you are teachers already, so maybe you want to argue on something or on Dr. Cope main points of what is it that takes transformative teaching, transformative learning in 21st century teaching. Okay, so yes. Okay, have you came across this kind of principles before? Let me let us have a kind of a warm-up session, okay, before we go further. Okay, okay, I know you know about the 21st century, but yes, anyone would like to say anything about 21st century, or you think that Dr. Bill Coe is just putting things in different terms, or do you agree with him? Anyone?
Yeah, I agree with it, Dr. Ahmad.
Okay.
Because I think I need to start the ball rolling. Yeah.
Hey,
Okay.
it's okay.
I seem to be agreeing with the thing stated here by Dr. Bill Coe regarding the transformations of the technology and from the traditional classroom towards online classroom that we have today. In fact, what we have today might not be predictable, but they might be forecast the thing is happening by today. Whereby nowadays, in terms of we talk about generation from generation X, Y, and now we have Z. Also, the exposure of the generations today towards the technology devices changing the way we teach in class today. Back to you, and this is my opinion.
Thank you, Dr. Basha. So you agree with him that we are changing the change there, the word change there, where we have to adopt and adapt new styles and new strategies to promote learnings and to incite the education process. Okay, the critical mind, the collaborative components. But he and Dr. Mary really focus on these 5 things. Okay, so do you think that it's really okay? For example, number 1 that you are seeing that right now, is it really a universal learning? Okay, this is the first principle. Okay, pardon me. Okay, the first principle is the universal learning. He and Dr. Mary used the word ubiquitous. Okay, but I think it's more towards universal. Okay, so means it's everywhere and anywhere. Okay, so anyone can access it. Anyone can learn everywhere, anytime that you want. In your bedroom or in your in your living room or in the library, in your class, or in your on your way to your work, you can listen and you can learn. So do you think that it is really universal, or is just
Doctor, sorry, can you please put it in slideshow?
You're not seeing this?
A bit small.
A bit small. Okay.
Sorry, Doctor.
Tak apa. Patutnya bagi tahu tadi. Okay. Okay, the thing is, I want to see your the Google Meet itself, so that's why I'm trying to put side by side. Okay, kejap Kalau macam ni okay? Ni? Is this okay? The size? Yes, okay. Thank you.
A bit better.
Sorry for the technical. Okay. Okay. The bigger the better. Okay. Now okay.
Okay, Doctor. Okay.
Okay. Sorry. Okay, let's go. Now we have Dr. Bacha. He agreed with the change. Okay. It's inevitable. And everybody has to do it. What about others? By the way, I'm in Geomatica right now, in the faculty. It's quite sunyi here. I only listen to you, to the fan of the icon, and you guys in the Google Meet. Okay.
I believe.
Yes.
Yes, I believe that I agree with Dr. Bill Cope and Dr. Mary because yes, education has quite changed a lot. Let's say here there's no longer limited time and space. He's right. Now we can go through online sessions and also pre-recorded videos. We don't have to we do not have to attend classes on a specific time anymore. We can go ahead, like the doctor or the teacher can pre-record sessions and lectures, and we can go through.
You can go through? Maybe. Okay.
Thing we go back to it in any time. The second thing, like it's the teacher only speaks. That's like an old-fashioned thing. It's almost now a student-centered teaching and learning. It's more like the student has to interact and collaborate inside of the classroom with like to the students, one another, and also between the teacher and the students themselves. And the teacher, he's like he's almost monitoring things, and the students are like doing most of the work, and they're even like he's giving them the chance to give their ideas and share them. And the second thing, the third one, the mass education, I believe that now children, I mean like students, has the freedom to choose which type of subject or which type of subject or specialization that they are interested in learning, to have, for example, to earn a certificate for it or something like that. So yeah, it's like not everyone should learn the same thing.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Farah, for stating your points and your view on the topic. Okay. So since you also agree with the principles, the first principle, which is the universal learning and ubiquitous learning is ubiquitous, is everywhere, is anywhere, it's accessible, and it's it can be anyone can access it. Okay, can have it. Okay, and let's go to the gist of the discussion of universal learning. Okay, what does he really argue on is just like what Farah has said to us. Okay, it's no longer time bound and it's no longer space bound. Okay, meaning you don't have to be there physically. We know about this. Okay, we know about this, but what does it mean really when it is no longer time and space bounded? Okay, limited to time and space. From the article and from the from my understanding of the discussion, it's like more towards the rules of teaching is evolving. You get what I mean? Before this, we just everything must be within the four walls. Okay, but now it's everywhere and it is traceable and it can be tracked. Whatever you do, leave breadcrumbs of your footsteps. Okay, online. It's the same whether you are a learner or you are a teacher. Do you agree with me? Okay. When classroom was invented in 19th century, it among the goals was to make the aristocrats, okay, or the noble learn, and so that they can govern the government or a country or something like that. Okay, and it was really being confined in types of space, which is the classroom. Okay, but now there is no classroom. Okay? Even though we say that this is Google Meet, Google Classroom, and so on, but yes, the concept of it is more towards more than a space, and it can be traced and can be tracked. Okay, so education become mass. Everyone has access to it, rather than previously just on the aristocrat or the noble kind of things, peoples. Okay, but now it's no longer. Okay, the concept is evolving. So he and Dr. Mary emphasize on the concepts of beyond the walls, okay, beyond the wall, beyond the space, beyond the time, and it can be used and it can be misused sometimes. Okay. Okay, this is very interesting. It's getting interesting. Okay, because learning, since it can be accessed from anywhere and everywhere and everyone, anyone. Okay, anyone. So what about if the knowledge has been accessed or being abused by someone who is not responsible? Meaning by getting the skills or the technology, the information that they get, okay, from the mass media or the sources, what will happen to the as a result of these things? Okay, what's your point of view on that? On the, especially on the can be used and misused sometimes.
I believe that if it's misused, then we wouldn't able to we wouldn't able to achieve the goals, the objectives, and even the assessment successfully. That then the procedure of teaching or learning wouldn't be successful.
So you are saying that if it is being misused, there will be no learning outcome. I mean, the knowledge cannot be transferred. Are you saying that? Are you saying?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Let me give you one example. We have a lot of information. We have. Have you seen a lockpick video on how to lockpick something? Lockpick. A manga. What do you call manga in English?
Locks.
Padlock. Okay.
Padlock.
Padlock. Okay. How to lockpick or pick lock padlock and use it on the advantage of stealing or robbing someone. Okay, gaining access to what's supposed to be prohibited, either it is property or anything. Okay, so because the knowledge is already there.
I think, Doctor, this is my opinion lah. Okay, because we are talking about universal learning, it's talking about the knowledge itself. So it's based on the knowledge for me is quite subjective. Maybe for some other people say that this is useful, this is not. But maybe for the other people, the thing that is not useful is useful for them. So I think when we're talking about universal learnings, the concept are very broad. And also we also need to consider that the subjectiveness of learning itself. Like you said, padlock. Okay, maybe you can say how to nitpick a padlock is not good, but maybe during emergency time, you lost your keys, and also you need to use padlock again, based on the subjectivity of the universal learning itself. That's why it's called the universal. You cannot say that this is good, this is bad. It's different. It's different for each others.
Thank you, Kamil, Mr. Kamil, for your argument and points. Yes, it's like a knife. You can say it can be used to murder someone, or you can use to chop the vegetable and to cook. Okay, so why bother on debating on the concept of knowledge, whether it is good or bad? Because it depends on the one who use it. Okay. Yes, I agree with you. Okay. Now we will look. Okay, after understanding all those arguments and discussion, let's go to the origin of knowledge. Okay, the epistemology of knowledge. How something or some knowledge that can be developed and how do we utilize it in order to bring benefit for the human being. Okay, we are about to go to that direction. Okay, so what is the nature of knowledge? It can be both. Okay, like what Kamil said, can be beneficial and can bring harm to oneself. Okay, depending on the usage of it or the party that want to use it. Okay, but what about if the origin of the knowledge, the epistemology of knowledge, is being challenged, okay, by the technology that we are facing right now? Okay, so everyone can put every single kind of information, and every single soul have access to it, including our children and our kids. So what is your take on that? Yes? Anyone?
Can you repeat the question again?
Okay.
I
was asking for that
lost.
also. Can you elaborate that question?
Yeah.
Okay, I was saying that since everything now can be the origin of knowledge can be from anywhere, and from anyone else can bring in the knowledge and bring in the information, and every single soul have access to it, including our children. So my question is, what is the role actually of us as an educator to ensure that the origin of knowledge, the epistemology of knowledge, is being really guarded, okay, by the community of teachers or educators, or the one who wants to do the right thing in giving knowledge, okay, in transferring information and so on. Okay, so what's your take on that? Do I make myself clear or just confusing it?
Can you give us an example?
Okay, I think I somehow understand what Doctor trying to say. Okay, it was saying that since our children have access to all of the kind of knowledge, how we educators can try to educate them, which is good, which is bad information. Again,
Exactly.
for me it's a quite difficult task for us, really, because as teachers we are being divided into generation X, generation Y, generation Z, and right now we are coming in the generation V, which is the vaccine generation. So every generation have their own prior knowledge, have their own perception, which is when we talking about to our children and now, there's sometimes they cannot make sense what I'm trying to say. For example, we could say that before this, during our child, we only bring about 1 ringgit to school, for example. So when we talking about to the children, when we talk to the children, sometimes they will ask, how are you going to survive with just 1 ringgit, right? So that kind of miscommunication happened because they're not there. For me, the children do not have, how we call it, the difficulties, because right now our generation, they are being blessed with all of these technologies, all of the comfort at home. They doesn't have to do anything really bad, really hard to get something. In our case, maybe for us educators when you to say, if I want to find out something, I have to go to the library, I have to find the books, I have to select all the kind of books, which is answer going to be answer my question. But for them, they are just type the question in the Google and Google try to find them. So the real challenge for us educators right now is trying to be in their shoes. How going to talk in their language?
Thank you, Camille. I think you brought a very, very interesting point, which lead our next point in this discussion. Very interesting discussion, which is the generation gap. Okay, the generation gap and the integrity of a person, a learner, to gain the information or to gain the knowledge. And we, as an educator, I think we must ensure they are self-regulated. Okay, the key point is that the self-regulation to be instilled within the learners and to be to have the integrity when they're seeking knowledge. Okay, that's why the schooling, the process of schooling, is very, very important. But because we are making them ready to the real society. Okay, by giving them schooling. The schooling experience, the process of schooling. But when it's everywhere, when it's ubiquitous, when it is universal, how can we ensure what is the role? What's the role of educators? The really main responsibility of us as a teacher when it's everywhere and it's anywhere. So I think we can conclude the first one is to ensure the integrity of the knowledge can be still safeguarded, okay, by us, the educators, the teachers, the one who want to make an impact to another human life, which we will promote a good deeds among them. Okay, so so the discussion is more towards how to instill it so that the students can have the self-regulated, can have the integrity inside them, can be the one that we really want them to be in line with whatever your philosophy is, or the national in line with the national philosophy of FPK and so on. All right. So kemenjadian tu, okay, the product of it. Okay, we must ensure that they have that. So that's why we are here, right? That's why you are pursuing your study. Okay, you want to do the right thing. Okay, you want to become the righteous. You want to have the knowledge within an institution, and it's a real knowledge, and it will bring good to the people. Okay, so let's move to the next points which related to what permits us of becoming lifelong learners, lifelong learners. Okay, the Cope use the lifelong learners, and lifelong means it's across generation, it's across horizontal line that no longer one hierarchy that everyone have to take order from the above. It's everyone have their opinions and their say. Okay, during this time, the technology time. Okay, so he talked about the habits of mind. Okay, the attitude and the curiosity for a learner to have in order to make sure that they learn, they have the learning capacity and the capability on their own, because we are no longer there. We don't have to monitor them anymore. Okay, we cannot monitor them anymore 24 hours, just like what we used to do during our time when we were students. Okay, when we were at the school. Okay, it's very different. So the habits of mind, the attitude, curiosity, the flexibility of us becoming more and more prominent for us to have in order to facilitate the learning. Okay, so after the 3 points, he mentioned about the contributing, how crucial it is for learners to contribute, not just to receive it, but to contribute to the knowledge itself. So they become the producer, the knowledge creator, the content creator, the one who put more information to what have been there in the first place. Okay, they are no longer a mere receiver of knowledge. Okay, that's the main argument. Okay, and they are becoming more independent, and they are at the end of the day, they have to be responsible in what they are learning. Okay, in their own learning. Okay, what I mean is like they have to be responsible in their own learning. Okay, and then the engagement, okay, and the access is going to be different. It's no longer that when we ask them, they will reply. Only when we ask them, they will give us the feedback. No, the engagement will be from their own peers, their friends, the community, the internet community, the social media. All this kind of circle will stimulate their engagement rather than us just giving one way of kind of teaching. All right. Now, let's go to the two kind of school approaches. Okay, to learning, right? The left side, on the left side is the directed approach. Okay, and on the right side is the constructivist approach. Okay, which one are you? Or which do you favor most? I can see the dialogue. Okay, sorry. Is it clear? For the constructivists, they believe in learning means when you transferring, okay, one information to another, or the body of knowledge you transmit it to another person. That's mean learning. That only learning can happen. But for directed methods, they believe in knowledge is generated in the mind, not being transmitted. Okay, only the one who possess the mind, the rightful mind, and the sane mind, okay, can able to process the knowledge, can construct the knowledge. Okay. All right. So, yes. Which one are you? Okay, or maybe you can share with me what we used to have during our school years, or during our time previously. What it used to be, right? We talk about changes, a lot of changes. But yeah, let's go to our own time when we, yeah, one user.
I think last time was teacher centered. Where everything comes from the teacher, not us.
Everything is coming from the teacher.
Yeah.
Teacher, the all-knower, right?
Mm.
Okay. Okay. So which school of that? Yeah. Do you think it is directed method or more towards constructivist?
That one is directed.
Yeah, it's directed. Yes, yes, it's more on directed. Okay, so you are going to say that you are wrong. Okay, it's just me that is all right, that is okay, that is um
Everything is correct.
yeah, everything is correct. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, thank you, Cik Yuza. Others, would you like to share your experience or your points?
Salam Dr. Ahmad.
Waalaikumsalam.
Okay, I think about the critics and of directed
Yes,
methods and versus with the constructive methods.
Hmm.
Maybe from my point of view, the left side's directed methods more to the like. They say I reflect back on the Bloom taxonomy cognitive lah. So directed learning methods more to the maybe they are person mesmerizing, remembering. I believe lower auditory skill lah.
Lower.
And
Okay.
then the right side critics of constructive most go for the higher level auditory skills lah, which have I believe C3 apply, analyze, evaluate and creation like that.
Okay. So you divide it according to Bloom.
Yes.
The taxonomy of Bloom.
Yes.
And you think that directed method is more inclined towards the lots rather than hots.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Very interesting. Okay. Okay. Why do you say so? Abu?
I believe because when I see like learning is repetitive and predictable, so I believe this person more towards like keep I mean reading, but they reading most for just for their self not for the sharing, and then try to evaluate and create something.
So you are more inclined towards. I do not say that lots is not better than hots.
Yes.
But we tend to follow that. Okay, the Bloom's level kind of taxonomy. But you are more inclined to say that and constructivist is the most preferable or the most the better one rather than the directed, right? Okay.
Yeah, I think better so. It's most sensitivity is better lah based on the level of their educations.
Okay. Thank you, Abu,
Okay,
for
welcome,
your
welcome.
points. And very interesting. I never came across that kind of argument, and when can be divided into the taxonomy. Okay, what about this? Do you agree with Mr. Abu, or you have different kind of?
Doctor, yes, I do agree with Cikgu Abu Baida, because to generate something, students generating their own knowledge.
All right.
It is something that we have in taxonomy Bloom. I think that is in level 5 synthesis, if I were not mistaken. So to generate something, of course, they must have good brain. And they can they can utilize their brain. Full use of their brain. I mean.
Full use of their.
No.
Okay. Go on. Sorry, I'm sorry to. And then.
What else? Maybe other friend can
okay.
Continue with that thing.
All right. Farah, raise your hand. Okay, raise her hand. Yes, please.
I believe the directed method is more about, as my other colleagues said, that it's more about the traditional way. Actually, I believe the traditional way is about a teacher as a sender and the students as a receiver only. And it lacks of motivation because the teacher is only focusing on sending the information to the students without checking if they are actually still with him you know. I believe that students need motivation during the classroom, because especially the young students, the way their brain is working is different from the older ones, because the students, like the young students, get bored and get lost, like very, very fast. So the children, for example, the young learners, they would actually listen to you for the first 5 minutes, and then they would actually start getting bored or getting lost. You know, they wouldn't be hearing you anymore. So by using using motivation things, for example, like teaching methods, different teaching methods and technology, colors and things like that, in activities, this would actually give them as if it's like a click in like a click to a new start, a new page in their brains, that would make them actually to start learning a new session again. And the other thing is that dividing the ideas, like, and making them in small parts, that would actually make it easier for them to make it precise, and even in more small parts. So it's like they would just understand the idea precisely, like, in make it precisely, and then you would just click it to another new part with a little bit of activity or something that would make it even better. And actually, I believe that the constructive way would actually bring out the creativity of the students' minds when they share their ideas with others.
All right. Thank you, Farah. Okay.
You're welcome.
So I can conclude that you also agree with the constructivist approach, where a student should be actively engaged with the learning. Number one. Number two, they have why? Because they must have an intrinsic motivation. Okay, they
Yes.
must have their own kind of motivation to learn more, rather than being spoon-fed by the teachers and by the educators, and they become the active rather than passive receiver of knowledge, and that's what we want. Okay, so I can say from the discussion, you conclude, you all agree with the constructivists, and you can all say that in order for 21st century learners to become really successful in their learning, they have to adopt or they have to be at least on the upper taxonomy of Bloom, which is the creating, synthesis, analysis kind of level, and by reaching that level only, they will be successful in their study or in their seeking, in their knowledge seeking activities. Am I right? Yes.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Okay. So okay. Okay, so we reach to another table. This is based on a book that is written by, I forget the name, Rob Blyder. Okay, the title is Integrating Technology into Education. So she said about this example of activities, right? And the differentiation between the older methods of giving instruction or teaching, and what we have right now. Okay? So You can see here the constructive, based on the constructivist models, since we all agree with the constructivists. Okay, the integration strategy that been used on the left side here. Okay, number one, to foster creative problem solving. Number two, to help build mental models and increase knowledge transfer. Number three is on the foster group cooperation skills. Okay, and to allow multiple and distributed intelligence. The first three, if you notice, this is all about the theme of 21st century, okay, which is the communication, creativity, problem solving, and one more, collaborating, okay, cooperation, okay. So what are the needs and problems that have been addressed if you employ the integration strategies? Okay, you can see the second column. Number one, the first one is students need to be able to solve complex, novel problems as they occur. Remember, is the goal of 21st century, we must enable them to solve the problem, not only to state the problem, but to solve the problem is another skill or another another level of knowledge. Because for example, you guys as a postgraduate students, you will be asked to find a problem, and not just only to identify your problems, but to solve it. Okay, to solve it. Okay, to propose a solution, to propose suggestion, to propose jalan keluar, the exit plan, whatever, based on the problems. So identifying problems is one thing, solving it is another thing. So maybe we can include some of the video-based scenarios that will help the students to understand more on the problems that they want to solve. Okay, so the author really suggests that using video, but I don't know. Do you agree with this, or you think that without video also we can make them solve the problem? Okay, all right. Okay, what about the metacognition? Metacognition is thinking about thinking. Okay, you have the ability to critically assess your own thinking or your own capability to think about something. So that is metacognition. Okay. Okay. So in metacognition, we see there teachers want to encourage students' self-awareness of their own learning strategies, meaning they have to aware of their learning and they have to have their own strategies, no longer based on instruction, based on the teachers. Forcing the student to do things, to do activities, and so on. They have to initiate themselves. Okay. So, what are the example activities that we can incite them to do? To do so, or to stimulate the activities. She gave us simulation. Okay, simulation. Okay, based on my experience, simulation is very, very helpful when you want to teach about procedural skills or procedural knowledge. Okay, related knowledge. Okay, for example, I take one example of teaching Hajj among young children. Okay, by giving them the simulation of offering pilgrims becoming the haji cilik, or the haji kecil kind of simulation, they are able to understand what are the flows and what are the requirements of Hajj for us as a Muslim. Okay, so simulation based very, very helpful in producing procedural kind of information. Okay. All right. The rest, I think that number 2, number 3, number 4, you can read on your own after this. Okay. And yes, let's move to the next slide. But before that, do you want to take a break or you want me to continue?
Continue, Doctor.
Continue boleh Okay. All right. Let's go to the era of computers, electronic devices, and the evolution of it. Okay. We start to experience this kind of device when we were in 1980s. Okay. It was just really meant to be personal. Okay. The MacBook have been introduced to personalize to offer to the user a personalized kind of computing experience. Okay, you have your own. Okay, everything you type there, the file, the document file going to be named after your name. All your files can be only accessed by you, and you can customize it. You can bring it anywhere, and so on and so forth. But beginning the year of 2005 and above, we no longer see this. I mean, it start evolving. Okay, we still have it, but we start to have what kind of concept of cloud computing. Okay, it's becoming interpersonal because everywhere you can access it, and it's the laptop or the information, the data that you have in front of you not only belong to you, but rather than it will be also be accessible by the company providing it, or the services that you subscribe to it, or your employer, or maybe your colleagues. All right, all these kind of changes we have to adapt, and the learners themselves, they have to adapt, right? So interpersonal computing versus the personal computing is going to impact how the learners learn or acquire the knowledge. Okay, it's going back to the be traced and be tracked. Okay, so well, whether you use it for learning purpose, or you use it for different kind of purpose, it depends on your intention, right? Okay, so starting from 2005 and above, we start to have a kind of social relationship that built around the computing experience. Okay, what do I mean by this? It's like we have Friendster, Flickr, okay, Yahoo, and so on. We start to have a web 2.0 kind of era. Okay, we used to have web 1.0, and now we already have the web 2.0, and it's going to be web 3.0 after this. Okay, what is web 1.0? Anyone would like to share the information? Web 1.0 era. Web 1.0 era is referring to the web page, or the web services, World Wide Web, WWW, that we have only a one-way kind of communication. Okay, so you can, let's say for example, Blogspot. Okay, you don't have interaction there. Okay, you're just referring to the Blogspot, you're referring to the particular website, and then the information is one way. Okay, you cannot create it, or you cannot challenge, you cannot comment it, you cannot do anything about it. But Web 2.0 is more interactive. Okay, everybody has everybody account. You are interconnected within. from one to another within the web. Okay, and Web 3.0 is going to be an automation. Whatever you have instructed the web to do, it's going to do for you. Okay, we already have it. Google, we have Siri, we have Alexa, and so on. So yeah, we are becoming the 3.0 era. So based on those kind of relationship with the computing experience, what will happen to the learners based on your point of view? Okay, my question is, what will happen to them, for the learners, when they are approaching to Web 3.0 era, and what's your strategies to make them become more alert on it? Anyone? Yes. Siapa buka tadi? Alright, okay. Anyone would like to share the web?
Yeah, Doctor. In my opinion, with the new era of Web 3.0, I believe that with the younger generation, with new generations, they are much brighter, and because the way they can access information is much wider compared to Web 1.0. Meaning that the access to information is really very vast, very wide, compared to our own time. Last time, without the internet connections, we have to go to the library by itself. Nowadays, everything at the fingertips. You just Google, you get everything's there. Right? So I just make the ball rolling. Then what about others? Right? They want to share together with us. Back to our friends. Right.
Okay, thank you. Others would like to share? Since my question again, since we are approaching the Web 3.0 era, what's going to happen to them, in the learners? What's your view on that? Does it bring benefits more than the harm, or you don't care? I mean, you it doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't do. Yeah.
Doctor.
Yeah.
There's always pros and cons to everything. Right.
Betul lah.
It is beneficial to the students as well, because they can simply Google and find whatever they want to find, right? But there's also a side effect instead of that. That's my opinion, my simple opinion.
But the relationship is going to be different. Before this, whatever you do is going to be, it's only you know, you yourself only know about the thing that you did with your computer. But now, no, everything is kind of relationship with one another, one thing to another. Every interaction is being recorded. Every relationship can be observed, can be monitored. Every comments will be screenshot and will be be saved, forwarded.
Yes, you cannot slip off the tongue, because everything will be recorded.
Yes.
You will be sued in the court.
So
there is no freedom at all.
No freedom at all. So yes,
freedom.
Okay, so the freedom issue, okay?
Yes.
The privacy issue, the safety issue, maybe is there for these learners to observe on. Okay?
Yes, Doctor.
Including ourselves right now, it's being recorded. You see the icon there? All right. Okay, I'm just joking. Okay, so so he go on and say about the transparency and surveillance. Okay, so they come with the term of academic stalker instead of a helper. They call it, we as an educator maybe would enable the stalker inside of us rather than to be a helper to facilitate the learning. Okay, so instead of just we monitor them to do the work, we become the one who forcing them to do it forcefully, or to do it in a very bad manner, and we become the spy on whatever that they are doing, and that's come the discussion, the argument on the transparency and surveillance. Okay, so everything is being transparent right now, and being recorded. Okay, so let's go to number 2, principle number 2. I think we are approaching 4:30. Okay.
Salam Dr. Ahmad.
Boleh.
So about the, I mean the latest news lah about our national data JPN.
Okay.
That's been leaking, right? So that one.
Betul. There is rumors on that. I heard as well. But is it true? Betul ke?
Yeah, it's true. And then I mean, investigate by the police Diraja Malaysia lah currently. So and then that one is for our like society lah, the nation. I mean nation data. So how about we be on the academics? So it will be serious damage.
Wow.
Okay, thank you.
That's a really interesting question. What about academia? What will happen to the academia when it's all become transparent and it will be recorded and it can be traced and tracked? Yeah. What will happen to us? What about
that's why they were talking about the blockchain technology.
Blockchain technology. What is it?
That's why because I think we have seen that Oxford has been implementing blockchain technology because like
maybe you can enlighten us about the blockchain technology.
Okay, sorry. Blockchain technology is a technology where the data could be packed into what you call it, a sealed container. So if anything would be done to that
like
box, yes, a box of data. If anything try to tamper with the data itself, it will self-destruct. So there is the latest technology for the blockchain lah. That's why
in order to have that, what is the requirement, or what is the cost?
The requirement is you need to have you need to have a very large infrastructure to support it. Because one week how to say average for one block of blockchain data, it consists about 20 gig. But usually we have about thousands of it. So that's why they were talking about blockchain technology, so to give us more security. And also like now we are more right now the white hackers job.
White hackers.
Yeah, white hackers carriers. White hackers. Yes, white hackers. Throughout the world is getting more recognized than before, because like you said, because transparency and surveillance happens every day. So there for big companies and also big organizations which value their security, the demand for white hackers is quite good lah.
Quite good, right? So
good. Yes,
we
because
have a kind of position.
Yes, because I'm a part of the group that support white hackers. Yes, I support white hackers because white hackers itself is trying to find the fault in your system. So that I got a friend that work as a white hackers. So from him I learn a lot lah, because everything that we do, it can be compromised. The safest thing for you to do is you use a non-mobile phone. 3310. Yeah, 3310 selamat. Confirm.
3310.
Other than that, bye-bye.
Because
I've seen it. Because I've seen how he hacked my phone, and so I hacked my friend's phone. It's quite inspiring lah. Quite inspiring.
Inspiring. Wow.
Yeah, inspiring because
Okay.
it look like so very very easy for them. Yeah.
For them,
Yeah.
to penetrate the system. Okay.
Yes,
Wow.
to penetrate system. Yes.
That we are going to we are in trouble right now. Okay. Now I'm getting scared. Okay. So yes, the blockchain technology, the safety of our privacy, and the cost of our freedom can be compromised sometimes due to these technologies and due to this advancement. Okay, and it came back to our initial discussion whether the one who use it to be responsible and to be integrity, to have the integrity inside them, to do the good things and to do the right things, is number one priority, to be instilled to them rather than to hinder them from exploring these kind of things. So I think very good discussion we had just now. Now let's go to the second principle, okay, which is the active knowledge making, creating meanings. Okay, so everyone, he said that everyone have to bring something to the table. Okay, instead of before this we access the information, whatever in the textbook is only on the textbook, in the textbook. But now, no longer. It's no longer the same. Okay, whether you are a novice learner, whether you are an advanced learner, intermediate, and so on, you can bring something to the table, to the body of knowledge of an information or a particular subject. Okay, so the knowledge creator, our children will be the knowledge creator and knowledge makers, and they can co-create with their kind of he said, he used the term digital ecologies. Okay? They have their own ecology, okay, and everyone shares the same interest and to provide with each other, with each one of their ability to adapt to the knowledge, and everyone will be the designer of knowledge, and making contribution, okay, to it. All right, so you can see here the pyramid of knowledge making. Okay, the culture we have right now. You can see at the top of the knowledge pyramid is the wisdom, right? Okay, after it is the knowledge, and before it is information, and before it is the data. Okay, so in order to be wise, it requires this kind of level. Okay, and it requires practices, it requires experience. Okay, and you guys, most of you are teachers and you have a lot of experience, and they with experience come the wisdom, after you had the tremendous amount of experience. Okay, and for us Muslim, we have the revealed knowledge, okay, which is being revealed to us, and we accept it as it is. The Sharia that we believe in is the most, is at the top of the pyramid, and we won't challenge it. Okay, but the wisdom came after the revelation, and so on and so forth, according to the level. All right, so we want the learners, the 21st century learners, to be wise, to have the wisdom, to have the integrity inside them, and to be responsible in whatever they are doing. But we have to allow them to undergo the knowledge culture, which is what in front of you. Okay, they have to search for the data, they have to confirm it, they have to verify it, they have to criticize it, they have to construct the knowledge, and they have to experience it in order to have the wisdom, right? So mau tak mau dia kena lalui. Alright, so moving on, okay, I said this before, the knowledge consumer versus the knowledge producer. Instead of just consume the knowledge, they become the producer of the knowledge. Let's have a look at the Caterpillar Science Project, and what is the participatory learning means. They have the ability to participate. Everyone have the chance to participate and observe the caterpillar evolving from being caterpillar to a butterfly, and everyone can contribute to it rather than just one person. Okay, this is only possible when they have the digital ecologies. Okay, they can upload their findings, they can upload their videos, they can upload their voices, their opinions on the caterpillars throughout these mediums, and everybody is talking about the same thing, and everybody is discussing on the science project. So it's no longer one way, it's no longer just a passive kind of activities. It become more and more a culture, we can say. Okay, and we want to instill this culture. Right. Okay, let's go to the discussion, to the points of traditional education. We used to believe, or wherever you remembered, whatever data that you remember, that is the right amount of education that you receive. And do you agree with me on this? Okay, if you tak ingat, meaning you tak belajar. Dulu. Betul ke? Atau saya je rasa macam tu? Is it true? Do you agree with this? Traditionally, we used to say education is something that you can remember, you can recall. Okay, and it belongs to only to the long-term memory. Okay, we have the short-term memory, we have the sensory memory. Beginning with sensory memory, we have and then we transmit everything into the short-term memory, and then last it will be stored in the long-term memory. Okay, based on the cognitivist approach and school of thought. But do you think that now it's about memory? Now, 21st century.
No more.
No more, right? No more. Do you remember your own phone number, your wife's phone number, your partner's phone number, your office phone number? Do you remember it? No.
Yes.
No. Yes. Okay, that's good. Okay.
Yes, I can remember all bank account also.
Okay. Meaning
Yeah.
You are in different generation.
Yeah, I'm different breed.
Okay.
Different generation.
Use our maps, Google Maps. We rely on it. Everything is on the device. So why do we have to really emphasize on the road learning now? Okay, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be at all. Because
Doctor, your internet, it's your voice is a bit cutting.
Oh, okay.
I believe now it's better.
I'm sorry. I've lost the connection. Is it okay now? Can you hear my voice?
Yes, okay. Yeah.
Boleh, okay. All right. So it's no longer education is no longer based on memory. Okay. Whatever you want to store, you just Google it. You want to know, you just Google it. You can access it wherever you want, whenever you want. Okay. And massive information online is going to be rampant and be available from one time to another time. Maybe in the next few years, it's going to be massive and it's going to be huge, kind of information that is available online. So, are we still gonna measure what the students remember? Do you think that still we want to? Yes, Dr. Basha.
I just want to share something, Dr. Ahmad, regarding because I'm teaching at the Faculty of Veterinary Medicine. So I just want to touch a bit about your opinion just now, whereby we are no longer needs to memorize of these kind of things. But when you're doing medical terms, medical things, you still need to memorize it. So I can't accept my students saying that I can't remember, doctor, because of this thing, because my patient will die on the operation theatre one day. If you keep remembering the thing, nak potong belah kiri ke nak potong belah kanan, warna biru ke warna merah, something like that. So they must be hands on. Probably there's some adjustment on your opinion just now. Which sector you're referring to? If you are in the medical line, if you are in the medical line, probably the thing need to be adjusted. Of course, with the instruments of AR, instruments of VR might help in terms of teaching and learning in medical aspect. But memorizing is still very important. Back to you, doctor. Thank you. Sorry.
Okay, I do not say that memorizing is not important, but do we really want to measure it only? We want to see the remembering is one of the biggest chunk of education. We used to have that before this. Traditionally, conventionally, we have. We will measure you getting A's because of you successfully giving the output that you remembered during your study, and it being measured by the summative, right? So yes, Farah.
I believe for now, for this generation, we focus on understanding more, and we see if the students can apply it in real life situations, or they can practice it or not. I believe it's more about to see how their brain works. For example, the multimedia, the multi-intelligence theory. If you know it, each student understand in a different way. So it's not anymore about giving this chunk of information to all of the students equally, and then they should memorize it at the same way, and that's it. It's more about seeing if the students understand it or not. You have to look at each individual, each student individually, and see how could this person understands it and receive the information. How could this person give them, for example, the chance to in different ways to see how they could apply it, because when you give a piece of information, they would apply it in different. It could be applied in different ways according to the student's type of intelligence, I believe.
All right. So if we are not, if you're saying that we are prioritizing the application, the understanding part, rather than remembering the information, just rote learning, memory, relying on the long-term memory and so on. So what is your strategy if you're going to measure the student learning outcome, or the students ability to understand, to do something? Or what is your strategy to assess them?
Well, you mean the type of assessment?
Yes, the type of assessment. And since we are not measuring them based on their ability to recall things, what are you going to do in order to assess them and assess their learning?
Well, I believe like the questions and the way of assessing them, it should attack the different areas. For example, in the Bloom's taxonomy, because we can see that each brain can go from understanding up to the top to creating. So we need to attack, let's say, most of them or all of them to see where is the weak, like where is the weak point of this student, and so we can upgrade it and improve it.
Okay, so we come to the term of the output or the artifact, the product that the students are able to produce is the one that we're really interested in. Am I correct? Am I right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
All right. So it's no longer whether you can put it down on the piece of paper and then you answer all those questions right or wrong, but it's about the product. It's about the output. It's about the writings, the ideas that is really important now, rather than just stating it, rather than just remembering and relying on the long-term memory and output and give it and throw it back to the in the exam. So back to the Dr. Bashar, when you talk about the ability of veterinarian to do their tasks when they have to remember certain terms and certain labels in their learning or in their syllabus, in their kind of I don't know what we call that in medical terms. Okay, so do you really measure how they remember, or do you measure the output of the patient or the animals that can be that have been operated by the doctors?
Wow, very interesting question, Dr. Ahmad. Okay, you see, it's quite unique about medical veterinary medicines, whereby we are not learning one species, we are learning various species.
All right.
So the engagement of the student, meaning that from your understanding and how you explain it, very much important. Whereby you need to blend it all together. Firstly, you must be able to comprehend what you learn. Secondly, you must be able to deliver back to your lecturer, to your examiner, what do you learn. Let's say for example, they ask, what is the color of the blood? Okay, everybody answers red, right? 2 from 100 students will answer green and blue. They are right, but they're not wrong. But because there's some animals have blue color and green color as well, the blood. Right, but in you can see the very broad knowledge. If they answer in the exam, everybody will answer is red, right? Unless I answer, please name what other animals not give the color of red. So back to your things like that. Remembering thing is one thing. To how you explain it in the logical terms is another thing. Okay, let's say you must remember. For example, because mathematics is quite unique. Let's say they say that the color of the blood is green color or blue color. Name me the animal and why they become blue color. Then it depends on the type of question with us. All right. So back to you just now. So how do you access them? Access them first, your understanding. Secondly, the way you comprehend your subject. Thirdly, how you answer it.
All right.
If you ever to convince me, then I will accept your answer. Okay, back to you, Doctor.
I don't want you to believe in me.
No. I mean, I asked my students.
And we want to discuss what is the most crucial part that we want the students to produce. Okay, rather than just recalling the information, we want them to be able to conduct the surgery or to be able to operate the patient. Okay, so because that is the main output or the main outcome that we really look on, whether he is qualified or she is qualified to become a doctor or not. All right. So yes, I do agree with you. There are some kind of question based on the on the context that you are asking, whether it's objective to label a different kind of blood and so on and so forth. But my question is like, do you really measure the students just on their based on their long-term memory, but based on their long-term memory instead of their kemenjadian dia sebagai or their readiness to become a doctor at the end of the day. Okay, so that's
the way is much easier. I understand your question, but for us, the blend of both the long-term memory as well as the understanding of the subjects is very much important.
Betul.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Shah. Very interesting. Very interesting. In medical field, I surrender. Okay, that is not that is not my field, and I think long-term memory serve the same function as application memory or understanding. Application memory pula, application and understanding part serve as important as the other parts. Okay, so okay, we just discussed this about the producing the artifacts, the group product. All right. All right, we talk about the ability to participate, contribute ideas, making suggestions, being creative, innovative, and taking risks. We are no longer receiving, but we are actively engaging in the society right now, in the future, and after this, it will be more obvious. Okay, traditionally we are command and compliance in the workplace setting. Okay, but now no longer. You have to actively participate. You have to take risks. You have to criticize. You have to contribute your ideas. You have to make suggestions. You have to be innovative. All these things are required now in the workplace, and therefore we as educators, we must change the way we deliver the teaching style or the information, the knowledge. Okay, so that they are able to fit in the workplace setting in the future. Right? You can see here. Okay, you can tell me, those who know history, okay, or you are majoring in history. He said that the Chinese ancient culture, they used to have regulation or rules. They call it, the person who writes is the person who teach. Okay, and by writing it, you are confirmed. You are the authority of knowledge. You are able to transmit it to other person, because you can read, because you can write, and the prerequisite of writing is about reading, right? Again, and therefore you are entitled to become a teacher. Okay, so I don't know. Do you agree with this, or it's conflicting with what you know on the history? Okay, anyone who can correct me if I'm wrong. So in Islam we have this concept of Iqra and Kalam. Okay, Nun wal qalami wa ma yasturun. Okay? In Surah Qalam, Allah mentioned in this. Okay, the importance of using qalam and being able to read is the key to the knowledge. Okay, and it signifies the authority of transmitting the knowledge, and it is a duty of a person who can write, and at the same time becomes the one who teach. Right? So okay, I don't think we can have all the slides since this is we are already approaching 5 o'clock. It's very interesting. I don't know about others. banyaknya saya je yang bercakap ni. Macam mana? Kita nak teruskan ke ataupun kita boleh postpone this session to another session? Okay. Yeah. Any ideas? Thank you Dr. Basha. We can postpone. Postpone banyak sangat kan. Okay. Okay. I will share this slide with you guys in the LMS and as well as the Telegram. Worry not. I really enjoy the discussing with you guys. Okay. Apa lagi? Mungkin anything that I miss you want me to address before we stop the class? Yeah, me too.
Salam Dr. Ahmad.
Waalaikumsalam. Yeah.
Okay. Because just now we know about data center information knowledge. So